Okay, and the folks at the back, are you able to hear me? Okay, great, cool. My name is Karthik Suryamurthy. I'm the Regional Commissioner for Foster City AYSO. Been in Foster City since 2015, and my son has been involved with AYSO since 2015. And I have been personally involved with AYSO since 2016. I was just a parent on the sidelines yelling at my son when some of the board members decided that it's best that I don't yell at my son and channel my energy towards helping other kids and the soccer program at AYSO. So I started off as a referee and a spring coordinator, and about 2 years ago, I took on the role of the regional commissioner. Thank you all for coming here, and I'll just briefly go over overview of AYSO, and then I'll get into the details of our fall program. Before I get started, how many of you are new to Foster City? Okay, so you moved to Foster City in the last 12 months or something? Great. Yeah, and how many of you are first timers in the sense that your kid is enrolled in AYSO for the first time? Okay, great. Okay, a lot of first timers. Great. Okay. Thank you. So a lot of the information that I'll be covering will be available on our website and on social media. So if you want to follow us on Instagram or Facebook, these are the handles. And like I said, a lot of this information is available on our website, and I'll be providing the links. Those links are pretty easy to remember. Before you shoot us an email, we do get a lot of email, and sometimes it takes a lot of long time for us to respond. So before you shoot us an email, check any of these three avenues and see if you can find the information that you're looking for. And if you cannot, then definitely shoot us an email. First of all, I want to thank the city as well as the Parks and Recreation Department. We are truly blessed to be part of this city with all the parks that they have. And for those of you who haven't been to Sea Cloud, it's pretty impressive with all its turf fields. And the Parks and Recreation Department of Foster City gives us, Foster City AYSO, priority for using those fields. And there are very few cities in the Bay Area with such a complex like Sea Cloud. And in fact, the area and the section tournaments are held in Sea Cloud and Foster City. So big thanks to the city and the Parks and Recreation Department, and also to the board. I am truly blessed to have an amazing board, and some of you might have already communicated with Beth, who is our amazing registrar, or Tracy, our assistant regional commissioner, who has been with AYSO for I don't know how long, and a bunch of other people like LD over here, who is our amazing referee admin. So these are some of the people whom you will be interacting with throughout the fall season. And I just wanted to say thanks to them. And especially for your kids, the 10U to 14U kids, these are the division managers. I think Justin is at the back. Yep, Justin is the 12U, 14U boys division manager, and the others are not here. But you are probably have exchanged emails with them. They are the ones who are working behind the scenes to put together the teams, recruit coaches, and just get everything done before the season starts. And finally, I just want to say a big thank you for all the volunteer coaches. Your kids might not have been playing this season if not for the volunteer coaches. And I really appreciate all the coaches who have signed up to coach your kids, and extremely thankful to them. Thank you. Just a little bit of background. AYSO is 50 years old, and it's completely volunteer driven. None of us make any kind of income or compensation through the roles that we have. We do this because we love the kids, we love the program, and we love the community that we are part of. Foster City AYSO started in 1975, and in a couple of years, we'll be celebrating our 50th anniversary. This is our vision and mission. And I'll just touch upon a couple of key points. As you can see in the vision, the most key thing is to enrich children's lives. So your kids are our number one priority, and we want to make sure that they are having a fun. We want to make sure that the next few months are fun for them. And that's, as you can see, it's in the mission. We want to run this in a fun family environment. So what that also means is that we expect you to be involved, and I'll talk about how you can be involved. And I'll talk about the AYSO philosophies in the next slide. So the bottom three are pretty self-explanatory. Our coaches are there to not just to make the team win, but also provide a fun environment. And so that's why positive coaching is important. Good sportsmanship is always important, and the coaches also ensure that all players are being developed. I want to talk mainly about the first three philosophies. Open registration means it's open to everyone. We do not discriminate against anyone. Everybody plays. So for the folks who are new to AYSO, everybody plays is important. What this means is that all children in the team must play at least half of the game before anyone plays more. So what that means is the best player doesn't necessarily play the entire game. The best player cannot play all 4 quarters. A game is divided into 4 quarters until every other player has played at least 3 quarters. So so even if your child is playing extremely well, he or she might be benched after a certain number of quarters so that other kids get the opportunity to play. Balanced teams. Balanced teams means we use a rating system to decide how to which team kids should be assigned. This is to make sure that no one team is extremely strong and doesn't win all the games. And so how does this manifest itself? This happens across all age groups. Some of you might have reached out to the registrar or the division manager saying that, hey, my child is friends with another child. Can both of them be in the same team? Most of the times that's not possible, because we look at the ratings and let's say both of them are strong or both of them are weak, they will be assigned to different teams. So that's why we cannot honor such requests. So that's the background behind balanced teams and everybody plays. So this is something that you should keep in mind as the season progresses. Any questions? Feel free to interrupt me at any point of time if you have any questions. Okay. We have 2 primary seasons, spring and fall. Spring is more focused on skills development because we typically don't have that big an enrollment for spring, because spring is more of a baseball season in Foster City and probably in the rest of Bay Area. Fall, we have higher enrollment, and it's a competitive season in the sense that every child is assigned to a specific team, and that team plays other teams within Foster City or even outside of Foster City as the season progresses. These games are played on Saturday, and during weekdays, depending on your division, especially for 10U, 12U, and 14U, there will be 2 practice sessions during the week, and those days will be decided and communicated to you by your team's coach. Any questions? Okay. So like I said, there will be 2 weekday sessions for U10, U12, and U14. The weekday sessions are supposed to start on Monday, August 21st, which is the next week, and continue till Friday, November 17th. There will be 1 Saturday session, and this is where the game will be played between your team and some other team. And those will start on September 9th and end on November 11th. For 10U, 12U, and 14U, there is something called a Herschel Cup, which is towards the end of the season. What happens in the Herschel Cup is that every team within a division plays every other team, and it's basically an elimination tournament, and there will be a final between the top 2 teams, and one of them is the winner of that division, and that team moves on to the Area Cup, which is basically a competitive tournament between all the regions in this area. There are about 10 regions in this area. Okay. Any questions? Great. So for those of you who are new to Foster City, all the weekday and Saturday sessions will be on Sea Cloud Park. So it's pretty straightforward. Just if you look for Sea Cloud Park on Google Maps, you will know where it is. It's towards one corner of the Foster City. You'll have to basically go on, I think, Edgewater Boulevard and take a left on Pitcairn, and you will be at Sea Cloud. It's a pretty big complex. You won't miss it. And all the fields are turfed. And here is a more detailed map for 10U, 12U, and 14U. Your games will most probably be on S3, S2, and S4. Okay. You don't have to take photos. All these maps are available on our website. This is a more detailed map, especially for 10U. You need to know whether your game is on S3 East or S3 West. Once again, this map is available on our website. 12U games are usually held on S2, and 14U games are either held on S3 or S4. One thing about parking. So you should park on the streets that are next to Sea Cloud. This parking area was closed during spring and probably during summer because of the levee project work. I'm not sure if it has opened. So assume that it has not opened. There is a very small parking lot next to S3. That is a very small parking lot. It's usually, as a best practice, we leave it for the coaches because they have to haul stuff from their cars onto the fields. And so we want it to be left for the coaches. And so parents should typically park on this street or this street. Or you might even have to park further away from the park. So during Saturdays and weekday sessions, this parking gets pretty full. So make sure that you plan ahead in time and come early enough so that you can find parking and walk with your kid, or your kid can walk to any of the fields. So make sure that you plan ahead so that you're not late. Any questions? Okay. You can find this map on our website. There is a map of Sea Cloud Park that you can look up, okay, if you have any doubts. Okay, so this is a map of S3, and this is something that I want to emphasize, especially to the people who are new to AYSO. So for U10, the games will be held on either S3 West and S3 East. The goals are on these sides, okay? And so the games will be played in this direction. So on the either side of this fields is the coaches' technical area. What that means is only the coaches and the kids are allowed. The parents are supposed to be on these sides of the S3 fields. There is a clear distinction between the coaches' area and the parents' area. And this is so that kids know exactly where to go when, for example, when the quarter ends or when there is substitutions or at halftime. So do not come to the coach's technical area. Only if you are a coach or an assistant coach, you should come to the coach's technical area. Otherwise, you should remain for the entirety of the game on the parents' spectator area. Any questions? This is for S3, okay? For S2, it's slightly different. So the top one is S2 and the bottom one is S1. The coach's technical area is in between these two fields, and the parent spectator area is towards the, this one is towards the street for S2, sorry, for S1, and for S2, it's between S3 and S2 is the parent spectator area. So stick to the, if you're not a coach or an assistant coach, just stay in the parents area. Any questions? This just makes life easy for the coaches, for the kids and the referees and everyone involved. And sometimes you will see board members coming and telling parents to be, for example, if they are standing somewhere else, let's say behind the goal or something like that, to move to the parents area, just listen to them and follow their directions, because you don't want to be standing anywhere else. If you're standing behind the goal, it's distracting to the players. So just stay by the parents area if you're not a coach or an assistant coach. Clear? Great. Game format. For 10U, like I mentioned, there is a spectator side and there is a coach/player side of the field. The games are 7v7. There is a maximum of 9 kids on a team. There is no headers. There is an offside rule. And then there's a build-out line rule. I will explain what is the build-out line in the next slide. Keep in mind, do not encourage your kids to do headers if they are in U10 or U12, okay? U14, headers are allowed, and but no headers are allowed in U10 or U12, okay? Offside rule, it's a little bit complicated to explain over here. So you can just Google it, what's the offside rule? It's pretty, and there will be a lot of YouTube videos on what's the offside rule. Specifically for 10U, there is a build-out line. What that means is there is this line on both sides of the field. Basically, when the ball goes to the goalkeeper, the opposing team should be outside the build-out line. This is to encourage ball movement so that they are not crowding around the goal. And because these are young kids, and so we want to encourage ball movement. So whenever the ball goes to the goalkeeper, the opposing team should move outside the build-out line. And you will see the referee enforcing this. So I'm just explaining it to the parents so that you can expect when your child, especially if your child is in 10U, when they are playing a game, expect that the referees will be enforcing this. Any questions? So you might see a referee restart the game if the kids are not behind the build-out line, okay? 12U, pretty much the same, except that it's 9v9, maximum of 12 on a team, no heading, punting is allowed, and then there is the offside rule. There is no build-out line for 12U. Any questions? Okay. So weekday and Saturday sessions. For U10, just a quick thing. There are some 14U kids over here. For U14, it's 11v11, and heading is allowed, and offside rule is obviously enforced. Okay. So with regards to weekday and Saturday sessions, so the timings and field assignments will be communicated to your coaches, and your coaches should have communicated to you by now. If they haven't, they will. So you don't have to worry about the Saturday schedule yet, because the first Saturday games will be on Saturday, September 9th, which is still a few weekends away. The weekday sessions start next week. For U10, U12, U14, there will be 2 weekday sessions, and your coaches should have reached out to you. If they haven't, they will by Sunday. Are there any people, if any of the parents over here, if you haven't heard from your coach, come and talk to me. If your kid is in 12U or 14U and boys, and you haven't heard back from your coach, you can talk to Justin. He's the one with the baseball hat at the back, and he can help you out. Yes. Oh, yeah. 10U has only 1 practice during the week. Sorry. Okay. Uniforms, jersey, shorts, and socks will be provided. This is something, this will be handed over to you by the coach during the first meeting. And you will get an email from the coach about the first meeting and how the uniforms, how, when, and where the uniforms will be handed over. U10, U12, and U14, you need soccer cleats. There is a mention of sneakers here, but that's usually for younger kids, U8 and below. So for U10, U12, and U14, you will need soccer cleats and shin guards. The shin guards have to be worn under socks. And just make sure that your child brings a water bottle, and no colored drinks or food is allowed on the turf. And that's more of a Foster City Parks and Recreation rule. Another important thing, no jewelry is allowed. This is for your child's safety. Otherwise, they will get hurt. No watches, no earrings, no necklaces, nothing other than the uniform. Some kids might have a medical ID, which is okay. This is very strictly enforced by the referees. So we have had kids and parents fight this rule multiple times. Your child will not be allowed to play if they do not take off their jewelry. So we are very clear about this. This is a liability for us. Otherwise, your child might get hurt. And so I'm just making it very clear. Just make sure that your child doesn't have any jewelry. Okay. Especially if you're planning to get your child's ears pierced, don't do it before the season, right? They will be forced to take off their earrings during the game. If you're ordering cleats, make sure that you order a soccer cleat. Do not order a baseball cleat. A baseball cleat has a toe cleat at the front. This can injure other children. And if your child is not wearing proper cleats, so for example, if your child comes with baseball cleats, your child will not be allowed to play. If your child has to wear soccer cleats and has to have shin guards, if your child does not have shin guards, your child will not be allowed to play. Any questions? Okay, thank you. We need all kinds of volunteers. Like I mentioned, we are extremely thankful to the coaches who have signed up to coach your kids. Those coaches need help. So if those coaches don't have assistant coaches, please sign up as an assistant coach. And there are multiple roles that you can take on to help out your coach. Your coach will talk to you about all these different roles in the first meeting with the team. So you can usually all the coordination is done via Shutterfly or some other team management app. You can be the admin for that app. So that's sort of like the team parent role. Your coach might need a gender parent for every practice session or every game. What is a gender parent? So for example, if there is a girls team and the coach happens to be a male coach and the assistant coach also happens to be a male coach, then a female parent needs to be there whenever there is a practice or whenever there is a game. That is what we call a gender parent. The roles can be reversed too. For example, there is a boys team and the coach and the assistant coaches are women, then a male parent needs to be there all the time whenever there is a practice or a game. So that's what, and these parents can rotate every week. It doesn't have to be the same person every week. So for example, you should sign up to be a gender parent. We are not enforcing banners this time, or we are not encouraging, but if your team wants to set up create a banner, some parent has to bring the banner to each game. So that responsibility can also be rotated every week. Take on that role. Every game, usually a parent brings snacks, right? So once again, that role is also rotated. If someone wants to take photos and upload it to the team management app, volunteer for that. So there are a bunch of roles that your team needs. So make sure that you sign up for these roles. Talk to your coach and he or she will walk you through as to what's the help that they need. Yeah, go ahead. So the question is, for the recording, what is the app that we are using? There is no recommended app, right? So for example, my son's team in the past typically use Shutterfly, but there are other modern apps also. LD, do you know of any apps?
It depends on the coach.
Yeah.
Coach makes the call.
Coach makes the call. Yeah. Mark?
I think it's Game Changer. I think AYSO just cleaned up Game Changer.
Okay. So the app's name is Game Changer. Yeah. But it is up to the coach, right? And the coach decides, or for example, if there is a team parent and they are comfortable with it, they can work with the coach. And the reason why this is important is because the coach needs to know who is showing up for which practice session. Obviously, these are kids. Sometimes they get hurt. Sometimes they are not feeling well. The coach needs to know who is showing up, especially for the Saturday games, because the coach needs a full team to play against another team. So making sure that this app is updated with availability and other information is really critical for the coach. So just help out your coach in whatever way you can. Any other questions? Mark over here is an experienced coach. Mark, anything to add? Okay. Referees needed, LD.
Yeah. All right. So
in here, right? Well, I don't know. Hopefully the microphone will get me. My name is Sylvie. A parent of a child in the program, just like you, and I help with the refereeing program. So the reason that I'm here is because the league is entirely run by volunteers, right? And the support of all the participating families is needed to make sure that the program is a success. One of the most important roles that you can have is being a referee. We're the ones that make the game, the actual game, be safe, fun, fair, and actually by both laws of the game and by rules of AYSO and insurance purposes, no referees, no game, right? It's that simple. So it's kind of disappointing if we don't have enough referees. We can't actually officially sanction things. If you're planning to attend about half of the games, and if you're someone that believes in imparting good values and good happy game practices to your kids, then you're already qualified to be a referee. You have what it needs to be a referee. Actually, most of the referees that we have in this league, this family-run league, didn't ever either referee or even play soccer before becoming a referee. We'll teach you how the game works, especially at these age groups in our recreational league. It's not going to be super complex as things that you'll see in the professional leagues, nothing like that. And this is one of the safest environments that you have. So, you have just one parent being the coach, the other parents being referees, the other parent having the banner or bringing the snacks. Everyone's there to help each other. In my case, I remember one of the best situations was one of the persons helping with the team, having my then 1-year-old, keeping them happy and playing around with them as I was refereeing the team's game, because for some whatever reason one of the referees couldn't show up, right? So this is how it works. It's a family league. You make it better for the kids, and actually the quality of the game significantly raises when we have a full referee crew in place. Our games require ideally we'll have 3 referees at every single game. Last year we had a bunch of youth referees, so pretty much older siblings. Anyone who's really 12 years and up can be a U10 referee or like start refereeing. My son started doing it now that we've been doing this for 5 years now. He started doing it last year. He loved it. He did it with a friend, and now even more of his friends are coming. It's not just that we just give them thumbs up and so on. They get gift cards depending on how many games they did. They get additional gear. When on Saturday on game days, there's donuts and you get a sandwich if you referee and so on. And for adults, this may not be as much, but for a kid, this is their job. They're actually getting rewarded by that. We also this year are starting to produce certificates of volunteer hours, right? So if you come in as a kid and you do a number of volunteer hours, we will produce this certificate signed by our administrator saying, hey, you did this many hours. There's a number of schools in the area that will require this from kids, the number to have volunteer hours, and this is something that you want to build up. The previous referee administrator, he even signed some college letters, because we have the fortune here that many of the people have volunteers like us. They have also the benefit of having high degrees of being in good positions where they can even help their kids with seeking positions in different jobs or educational degrees. So I want to just highlight that it's not just parents that need to be there. I got kind of pulled by my coach, and this may happen to you, may tell you, hey, sorry, you need to be a referee. We need a referee for a team. We don't have one. You're going to be one. That's what happened to me. And I did not like it. I took the training, started happening, and it became my biggest hobby and my sport. So it may be your silly passion. I'm telling you as someone that's been there. I've talked a lot about this, but I want to say on our page, fcayso.org/ref. There's all the information to join, and or you can shoot us an email at refteam@AYSO.FC. So please, again, to highlight, this is something you hear a lot, is this is the family need. We make the program often for our kids, and it's better the more we do for them. I'll see you in the.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's only for Saturdays, right?
Yes,
Games.
for games.
Just for the game. And by the way, you assign the game that you want to be. Once you get trained, then you go to the platform and say, I want to referee this game, and this game. That's it. You do your own schedule. Actually, the first time I did it, I was traveling a lot, and I showed up for half of them. I had enough referees to go.
I think there was a question somewhere else. No? Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, LD's story is great. He said that he didn't want to referee, and now he is a certified national referee. So what he didn't want to do became his passion, right? So there is a referee inside each of you, I'm sure, right? That you just don't know about yet. We have a great team over here. In supporting adult referees as well as youth referees. LD already mentioned some of the perks, especially for the youth referees. They get excited when they come and see donuts, right? And they are eligible for a free sandwich. Even the adult referees are eligible for a free sandwich at the snack shack. And if you're a youth referee, and for example, if you decide to start volunteering as a referee within AYSO, you can graduate slowly and go and become a referee at any of the club programs where you actually get paid, right? And there is no better environment to get your referee chops than AYSO, because we are a great family and a great community over here. Any more questions? Okay, cool. Parent checklist, just make sure that your kid shows up in a soccer uniform. Make sure that they are washed so that you are not the day before, so that you are not looking for it at the last minute. Make sure that your child shows up with shin guards, soccer cleats, and a water bottle. The soccer uniform is very important. Let's say there is a team that is in green jerseys playing a team with blue jerseys. If your child does not have the right soccer uniform and shows up in a red t-shirt, it's confusing, right? The kids will not know whom to pass or whom to, on which side they should kick the ball. So, and the referees also have the freedom to not let your child play if they don't have the right uniform. So just make sure, especially for the first time AYSO folks, just make sure that your child has the assigned uniform that has been given to you, and he or she should be wearing that. Okay. Restrooms. This is mostly for smaller children, but it is a little bit applicable to U10 and then maybe not so much to U12 and U14. Especially for younger children, it's important that they use the restroom at home. The reason is, let's say the coach is in the middle of a practice session or a game, and your child wants to go to the restroom, then the coach has to accompany that child. He or she cannot leave the child unattended. So which means the coach has to stop in the middle of a game or a practice session and take your child to the restroom. Obviously, if it's an emergency, all that makes sense, but just make sure that your child uses the restroom before they come to the practice session or the game. Okay. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead. It is very important for the games. For the practice sessions, yeah, it's not that important. Yeah, so the whole referee thing, that's all applicable only to the games. Whatever I'm saying over here is applicable to the games, except the restroom thing, that's applicable to the practice sessions also. Okay, remember I talked about this in my initial slides. Our number one priority is kids. The focus is on fun, not winning. Fans, which is all you parents, cheer and let the coaches coach. I have been a referee for multiple years, and it's really frustrating to the kids when the coach is saying something and the parents are saying something and they are like, pass where, right? Because everybody is shouting, right? So parents just cheer and let the coaches coach, okay? This is applicable to everyone. No swearing, smoking, or alcohol. As I said, be a role model for the kids, set a proper example, respect the referees. A lot of the games that your children will be playing will be refereed by youth referees. Set a good example. All referees make mistakes, even the most experienced ones. At the end, these are just some kids playing. There is nothing at stake over here. And the reason I'm saying is that sometimes parents get frustrated with referees or youth referees. Just do not set a bad example, okay? Any questions? Board members will be there walking the field, and if they see a parent, I don't know, for the lack of a better word, misbehaving, they will come and talk to you. You don't want to be that parent, because at the end, it's just some 10 or 12-year-olds playing a friendly game of soccer. So just keep that in perspective. Same thing again, just make sure that you pick up your children on time. The coaches are there to just coach your children. They are not babysitters. They have to go home once their coaching session is over. So don't keep them waiting. Just make sure, especially for the older kids, we tend to see that parents drop them off and pick them up. Just make sure that you pick them up on time, and also drop them off on time, right? The rest is all pretty straightforward. Quick thing. Yeah, sorry.
Must be present for all the practice.
Yeah, so that's mostly for younger children. So, for example, the reason is mostly for the 10U division. But let me just give you an example. If your child gets hurt, right, and your child has to be removed from the game, right? They will be on the sidelines, but the game must go on. But if your child is pretty badly hurt and no parent is there, then that's a very bad situation, right? Somebody has to come and take him or her either for medical attention. It's not the coach's job, because there is a game going on, right? So I would encourage parents to be there, especially for the younger kids, sometimes even for the older kids under situations like what I just described. Okay. UK coaches. So the UK coaches are there mostly to run the sessions and help the coaches for the younger divisions. This is U4, U5, and U6. If any of you are if any of your teams have first-time coaches, the UK coaches can help out, but that's not their primary responsibility. But you will see these 4 UK coaches in the field, sometimes during your practice sessions or even during the Saturday games. And this is just more of an FYI. But what they need is housing. They are part of the UK International Soccer program. And these 4 UK coaches were our spring coaches, and they did an amazing job, and we wanted them back. And all 4 of them are back for fall also. But they need housing, because housing is not covered under the UKIS program. And there are perks to providing them with housing. So as a parent, if you have an extra room and if you can let a UK coach stay for a month, if you let them stay for a month, you will get the next fall or spring season that AYSO provides as a free season. You don't have to pay for the registration fees. Apart from that, UKIS also provides you with some perks. They run camps. They run summer camps, fall camps, winter camps, and spring camps. For every 2-week stay, you get a week of free camp. And for a month, you get 3 weeks of free camp, so on and so forth. Okay. So if any of you have an extra room and you can let a UK coach stay with you, it will be great. All the host families that we had during spring had just positive things to say about the UK coaches. They had great experiences. And the most important perk is that kids get pretty much on a daily basis free soccer training. It's almost like having an experienced coach stay with you like every day and entertain your child. Any questions on this? Okay, important dates. So opening day is on 9th of September. That's the first Saturday. So for those of you who have not been here for a long enough time, the last time we had opening day was 2019. And then because of the pandemic, we never had the opening day. We just started the games on Saturday. And usually we did an ice cream truck or something like that, shaved ice truck. The opening day is special. We actually have a parade of all the teams. There is usually Foster City Council members who are there announcing those teams. And it's a big community event. It helps make Foster City a stronger community. And we are bringing back the opening day this year. You will hear from your coaches and division managers as to what you have to do and what time you have to be there on opening day and things like that. Other important dates. So all this is available on our calendar, on our website, fcayso.org/calendar. The most important thing is are the silent Saturdays. Silent Saturdays, coaches and parents are expected to be silent and quiet and let the children talk among themselves and play the game how they want. The referees will be enforcing this. And Herschel Cup, this is especially important for 10U, 12U, and 14U. This is at the end of the season. This is 2 weekends of games between each team and every other team in the division. It's an elimination tournament, and the final will be between the top 2 teams, and the winner of the final, winner of the Herschel Cup will go to the area tournament, which is on the first weekend of December. And if, let's say, a Foster City team wins the area tournament, then they will go to the section tournament, which is in the second weekend of December. So why is this important? Don't start making plans for the first and second week of December, assuming that our season is over, right? So for example, if your child's team wins the Herschel Cup, they will go play in the area tournament, and it will be a big disappointment for the team if they are short-staffed, if they don't have enough children, because you made some plans for the first weekend of December or the second week of December. For all practical purposes, you should assume that the season extends at least till the area tournament, which is the first week of December. Okay. Any questions? The only time we will not be playing is during Thanksgiving. 18th and 19th is the weekend before Thanksgiving, and December 2nd and 3rd is the weekend after Thanksgiving. Okay, there is a snack shack. It's now known as Sugar Shack. They open probably at around 9:30 or 10 a.m. They have coffees, sports drinks, and a lot of food and snacks for children as well as parents. So just FYI. It's at the corner of Sea Cloud where the restrooms are. Okay, air quality is very important in fall because mostly towards the latter part of fall because of the possibility of fires. If the air quality, we use Purple Air to monitor air quality. If air quality is above 150, games will be canceled. For Saturday sessions, Saturday games, AYSO will decide, for example, so this will be decided pretty real time. For example, in the morning, let's say because of a fire on Friday, on Saturday morning, the air quality is pretty bad, you should check your email to see if there is an update from us as to whether there will be games or not. Another good way to check all these statuses is on our social media, on Instagram and Facebook, and we will be announcing it on those avenues also, so you can quickly check. For weekday sessions, it's usually the coach that decides, because weekday sessions start in the afternoon and extend all the way till evening, and your coach is the best person to decide whether there will be a game or whether there will be a practice session or not based on air quality. Okay, so just keep monitoring your email and keep monitoring our Facebook and Instagram pages. Okay, this is pretty much any contact information if you want to reach out to us with any questions. And we have a lot of board openings, and some of us all of us have day jobs and we just make extra time to make all this happen. And we would really appreciate some help. So if any of you are interested, we have a lot of positions open and we meet on the first Wednesday of every month, just in the same building, in the port room, which is down the hall. And the time commitment is only between 4 to 6 hours. And our board is extremely short-staffed and we work long hours to make all this happen. And so if you're interested in helping us out, we would really appreciate it. If you're interested, feel free to email me with anything. If you just don't know what to do, what role you're interested in and just want to help out, just email me and show up to the board meeting and we'll figure out how you can help us. And that's pretty much it. Any questions? Okay, thank you all. Hope you all have a great season. Thank you.